The smell hit Liam before anything else. Rotting food, unwashed bodies, and something worse underneath it all. He pressed his sleeve against his nose and kept walking through the beast pens of Drift Harbor Station. This shortcut would save him 20 minutes getting back to his ship. And 20 minutes meant something when you lived on the edges of profit and loss. Cages lined both sides of the corridor, stacked 3 high in some places. Inside them, creatures from 100 different worlds waited for buyers. Some paced, some slept, some just stared with eyes that had given up hoping for anything better. Liam had seen these pens before on other stations. He never liked them, but he never did anything about them either. That was just how things worked out here in the black. A group of wealthy merchants stood near the center of the corridor, admiring a massive red dragon that filled an entire reinforced cell. The creature's scales gleamed like polished metal. Its teeth were as long as Liam's forearm. The merchants were talking numbers that could buy a small moon. Magnificent specimen, one of them said. A 4-armed Tellurian in expensive robes. Full aggression training, I assume? The seller, a squat reptilian creature, nodded enthusiastically. Battle ready. Responds to 17 combat commands. This beast has fought in 3 colonial wars. Liam walked past them. He had cargo to load and repairs to pay for. Other people's business was other people's business. Then he heard the laughter. 2 station workers stood near the far end of the pens holding shock prods. They were jabbing them through the bars of a cage that sat separate from the others, pushed into the darkest corner where the lights barely worked. Come on, Barnacle Queen, one of them said, jabbing again. Give us a show, his partner laughed. Thing's probably already dead, just too stupid to fall over. Liam should have kept walking. He had his own problems, but something made him stop and look into that dark corner cage. At first he thought it was a pile of trash. Then the pile moved just slightly and he realized it was alive. The dragon was white. At least Liam thought it was supposed to be white. It was hard to tell under all the barnacles and sea growth that covered its body like a second skin. The parasites clustered so thick in some places that he could barely see the scales underneath. Its body was thin, ribs showing through where the growth was thinner. One eye was clouded over completely. The other was half open, staring at nothing. Hey, Liam said. What are you doing? The workers turned. One of them grinned. Just having some fun with the merchandise. This your first time at Drift Harbor? Fun, Liam repeated. He looked at the dragon again. It hadn't moved except for that one small shift. That thing looks half dead. Probably is, the second worker said with a shrug. Been here for 6 cycles. Nobody wants it. Too small, too sick, too ugly. Boss keeps hoping someone will take it off his hands. The first worker jabbed his shock prod through the bars again. This time the dragon made a sound. Just a small wheeze, barely audible, but something about that tiny sound hit Liam in the chest. Stop that, he said. The workers looked at him. The one with the shock prod raised an eyebrow. You want to buy it, human? Make us an offer. I said stop. Something in Liam's voice made them pause. Maybe it was the way he had moved closer. Maybe it was the way his hands had curled into fists. The workers exchanged glances. Whatever, man, the first one said. Have fun staring at garbage. They walked away, still laughing between themselves. Liam listened to their footsteps fade, then looked back into the cage. The dragon's one working eye had moved. It was looking at him now. Not with hope. Not with fear. Just looking, like it was curious why anyone would bother stopping near its cage. Liam crouched down. The floor was dirty, covered in old straw and things he did not want to think about. He got a better look at the dragon up close. The barnacles had grown deep into the scales. Some areas looked infected. The dragon's breathing was shallow and uneven. Hey there, Liam said quietly. You having a rough time? The dragon blinked slowly. That was all? Yeah, Liam continued. Me too. Most days, anyway. He did not know why he was talking to it. The creature probably could not understand him. Even if it could, what was he supposed to do? He was a cargo hauler, not a rescue operation. He had 40 credits to his name and a ship that needed repairs he could barely afford. Liam stood up. He needed to go. His ship was waiting. The repairs would not pay for themselves. He made it 5 steps before he stopped. The image of that clouded eye stayed in his head. That small wheeze of pain, the way the dragon had looked at him, not expecting anything, just acknowledging that someone had noticed it existed. Liam cursed under his breath. He cursed the station. He cursed the workers. He cursed himself for being stupid enough to care. Then he turned around and walked back to the cage. "All right," he said to the dragon. "Let me see what I can do." The dragon's eye tracked him as he walked away, headed for the station master's office. For the first time in longer than it could remember, something that was not pain or hunger stirred in its chest. It felt almost like the beginning of hope. But hope was dangerous. Hope had died before. This was probably just another moment before more darkness. Still, the dragon watched the human disappear around the corner. And it waited. The station master's office smelled like cheap incense and cheaper liquor. Golvin sat behind a desk made from salvaged ship parts, his three eyes focused on a data pad. He did not look up when Liam entered. "Whatever you are selling, I am not buying," Golvin said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "I want to buy something from you," Liam said. Now Golvin looked up. His species did not smile, but his eyes brightened with interest. "Ah, a customer. What catches your fancy? We have excellent stock right now. Premium combat beasts, racing creatures, even some exotic pets for the right price. The white dragon, the one covered in barnacles." The brightness in Golvin's eyes dimmed. "That one? You have wasted your time, human. That creature is defective. Albino mutation, weak constitution, poor temperament. Previous owners tried everything. It does not respond to training. It does not fight. It barely moves. How much?" Golvin leaned back in his chair, which creaked under his weight. "You are serious. How much?" Liam repeated. "That creature is still registered as rare albino specimen," Golvin said slowly. "Technically, it holds value on the exotic market. I cannot sell it for less than standard pricing for its species." 12,000 credits. Liam felt his stomach drop. 12,000. He had 40 credits in his account. His ship repairs would cost 600. He had another delivery lined up that would pay 800. Maybe 1,000 if he negotiated well. "That is insane," Liam said. "You just said it is defective. Nobody wants it." "Then you should not want it either," Golvin said. He turned back to his data pad. "Good day, human." Liam stood there for a moment. The smart thing would be to walk away. 12,000 credits for a dying dragon was beyond stupid. It was financial suicide. He thought about that clouded eye. "That small sound of pain, what about trade?" Liam asked. Golvin paused. "Trade? I have spare parts on my ship. Good stuff. Plasma couplers, shield generators, navigation arrays. All human-made, all quality. How much worth? Maybe 4,000 if you are buying. 6 if you are selling." Golvin made a sound that might have been laughter. "So you have 4,000 in parts and 40 credits to your name. That gives you 4,040 credits. You are still 8,000 short." "I have something else," Liam said. He pulled out his datapad and transferred a file. Navigational data. Complete survey of the terrace sector, including 3 unmapped jump points. That is worth at least 3,000 to the right buyer. Golvin studied the data. His eyes flickered with calculation. Perhaps 2,000. The terrace sector is not heavily trafficked. Fine, 2,000. That puts me at 6,000. For the rest, Liam hesitated. "I will sign a labor contract. 4 months of transport runs for the station at reduced rates. That should cover 4,000 in lost profit." 6 months, Golvin said immediately. 5. Deal. Golvin pulled up a contract faster than Liam expected. He had been waiting for this, Liam realized. Waiting for someone desperate or stupid enough to take the dragon off his hands. Liam read through the contract. It was worse than he thought. The labor clause had penalties built in. If he missed a delivery, the time extended. If cargo was damaged, he paid. The contract basically made him an indentured servant to Drift Harbor for the next 5 months. Maybe longer if things went wrong. He signed it anyway. Golvin processed the payment. Taking Liam's parts list and navigation data. "You are making a mistake, human. That creature will die within a week. Then you will have nothing except debt and a corpse to dispose of." "Maybe," Liam said. "But that is my problem now, not yours." Indeed. Golvin printed out ownership papers and transfer documents. "The creature is in pen 47. I will have my workers prepare it for transport." "No workers," Liam said quickly. "I will handle the transport myself." Golvin shrugged. "Your choice. But you will need to move it within 3 hours. After that, I charge docking fees for the pen space." Liam took the papers and left the office. His hands were shaking slightly. He had just spent everything he owned and bound himself to 5 months of cheap labor for a dragon that might not survive the week. His ship's AI was not going to be happy about this. He walked back through the pens. The wealthy merchants were still there, now looking at a different creature. They did not notice Liam. He was just another low-level cargo hauler beneath their attention. When he reached pen 47, the dragon was exactly where he had left it. It had not moved at all. Liam unlocked the cage using his new access codes. The door swung open with a rusty squeal. The dragon's eye tracked the movement but showed no other reaction. "Okay," Liam said quietly. "Here's the deal. I just bought you. Spent every credit I had and then some. So you need to work with me here." The dragon blinked. "I need to get you onto my ship. It is docked in Bay 12. That is about 300 meters from here. Can you walk?" No response. Liam stepped into the cage carefully. Up close, the dragon was bigger than he had realized. Even thin and sick, it was nearly as tall as his chest when lying down. If it stood, it would be twice his height. He reached out slowly. The dragon watched his hand approach but did not pull away. Liam touched its neck, feeling the rough texture of barnacles under his fingers. "All right," he said. "Let us figure this out together." The dragon made that small wheezing sound again. But this time, Liam thought he detected something different in it. Maybe not hope. Not yet, but maybe the willingness to try. That was enough to start with. Getting the dragon out of the cage took an hour. Getting it to the ship took 5 more. The dragon could not walk. Its legs were too weak, muscles wasted from years of inactivity. When Liam tried to help it stand, it collapsed immediately, wheezing harder than before. For a terrible moment, he thought it might die right there in the corridor. "Okay, new plan," Liam said, breathing hard. "We do this the hard way." He went back to his ship and returned with a cargo sling and a portable lift system. The equipment was meant for moving engine parts and supply crates, not living creatures. But it was all he had. Positioning the sling under the dragon was difficult. The creature was heavy despite being thin, and the barnacles made everything harder. Sharp edges cut into Liam's hands. The dragon made small sounds of distress as he worked, but it did not fight him. It seemed to understand he was trying to help, or maybe it was just too weak to resist. By the time Liam activated the lift and began the slow process of moving the dragon toward his ship, a small crowd had gathered. Other cargo haulers, station workers, even a few of the wealthy merchants stopped to watch. "That human is moving the Barnacle Queen," someone said. "He actually bought it?" Waste of money, Liam ignored them. He focused on keeping the lift steady, on making sure the sling did not shift and hurt the dragon more. 300 meters had never seemed so far. Halfway to the docking bay, another human approached. She was older, with gray hair tied back in a practical knot. She wore a cargo hauler's jacket similar to Liam's. "Need help?" she asked. Liam looked at her surprised. "You would help with this?" "I have some time," she said simply. She took position on the other side of the lift. "Name is Ruth, by the way. I haul medical supplies. Liam, I haul whatever pays." Together they moved faster. The dragon seemed to relax slightly with 2 people helping instead of 1. Its breathing evened out. "Why are you doing this?" Ruth asked as they navigated around a cargo container. "I do not know," Liam admitted. "Seemed like the right thing." Ruth nodded like that made perfect sense. "I pulled a Vexian cat out of a fighting ring once. Everyone said I was crazy. That cat lived with me for 8 years. Best decision I ever made." They reached Liam's ship, a small cargo hauler called the Dusty Run. It was not much to look at, all patched hull plates and mismatched parts, but it flew, and it was his. The ship's AI activated as they approached. "Liam, I detect you are bringing an unregistered life form aboard. Please clarify." "Vera, meet our new passenger," Liam said. "That is a dragon," Vera said. Her voice sounded disapproving. "Specifically, a severely malnourished dragon with extensive parasitic infestation. This vessel is not equipped for dragon care." "We will figure it out," Liam said. "Your optimism is not supported by available data," Vera replied. Ruth helped Liam get the dragon into the cargo bay. They lowered the sling gently onto the floor, which Liam had covered with every blanket and cushion he could find. It was not much, but it was better than the bare metal of the station cage. The dragon settled into the makeshift bed with a long exhale. Its eye closed. "You got medical supplies?" Ruth asked. "Some. Basic first aid stuff." "Not enough." Ruth pulled out her data pad. "I am sending you a list. Antibiotics, anti-parasitic meds, nutritional supplements. You will need all of it. I cannot afford. I will spot you, Ruth said. Pay me back when you can. Or do not. Whatever. Before Liam could respond, she was gone, heading back toward her own ship. Liam stood in the cargo bay looking at the dragon. The creature seemed impossibly large in the small space. He had no idea what he was doing. Vera, he said. Can you scan her? I need to know how bad it is. Her? Vera asked. She looks like a she, Liam said. He had no idea if that was true, but somehow the dragon felt female to him. Vera ran her scans. The results appeared on Liam's datapad a moment later. They were not encouraging. Severe malnutrition, multiple infections, parasitic load at critical levels, vision impairment in both eyes, possible neurological damage from prolonged parasite exposure. Estimated survival probability without immediate intervention is 6%. And with intervention? Unknown. I lack sufficient data on dragon medical care, particularly for cases this severe. Liam sat down next to the dragon. She did not react to his presence. Her breathing was shallow but steady. What do you think? He asked her quietly. You want to try? The dragon's eye opened slightly. That clouded gaze found him in the dim light of the cargo bay. Liam took that as a yes. He started with the Barnacles. Ruth's medical supplies arrived within an hour, delivered by a station drone. Liam set up a workspace next to the dragon, laying out tools and medications. This is going to hurt, he told her. The barnacles have grown into your scales. Removing them will not be pleasant, but they are killing you slowly. The parasites are feeding on you, infecting you. They have to come off. He picked up a small blade, sterilized it, and began. The dragon made a sound. Not the wheeze from before. This was different. Sharper. Pain, definitely, but also something else. Awareness, maybe. Like she was waking up from a very long sleep. I know, Liam said, working carefully. I know it hurts. But I am trying to help. I promise. He worked for 3 hours that first session. He removed barnacles from a small section of her neck, cleaning and treating each wound as he exposed it. Under the growth, her scales were white as snow. Beautiful, actually, when they were not covered in parasites and rot. The dragon never tried to bite him. Never pulled away. She just endured, making small sounds now and then, but staying as still as she could. When Liam finally stopped, exhausted, he had cleared maybe 1% of her body. It would take weeks, maybe months, to remove everything. We will do more tomorrow, he told her. Rest now. The dragon's eye closed. But before it did, Liam saw something in that gaze. Recognition. Understanding. She knew he was trying to save her. That was enough for now. 3 weeks later, Liam could see her face. The dragon had a face. It seemed obvious now. But for so long, she had just been a mass of barnacles and infection. Now, with most of her head cleared, he could see the elegant shape of her skull, the gentle curve of her jaw. Her scales caught the cargo bay lights and reflected them back in soft, pearlescent waves. You are beautiful, Liam said, sitting back to admire his work. The dragon made a sound, not the wheeze, not the pain sound, something new. It was quiet, barely audible, but it sounded almost like a purr. Vera had been tracking the dragon's progress with increasing interest. The AI's initial skepticism had shifted to something approaching curiosity. Her vital signs have improved 43%, Vera reported during one of Liam's daily check-ins. The antibiotic treatment is working. Several major infections have cleared. What about her eyes? Liam asked. Right eye is responding to treatment. Vision should return to approximately 70% normal. Left eye has sustained permanent damage. She will likely have limited vision in that eye permanently. Liam looked at the dragon. She was watching him with her right eye, which had cleared significantly. The cloudiness was almost gone. She could see him properly now. Better than nothing, he said. The dragon huffed in what might have been agreement. The feeding schedule had been the hardest part to figure out. At first, she had refused food entirely. Too many years of bad food, spoiled meat, and neglect had made her suspicious of anything offered. Liam had tried everything. Raw meat, cooked meat, different proteins. Nothing worked. Then he tried talking to her while he ate his own meals. He would sit next to her, eating whatever simple food he had prepared, and he would just talk. About Earth, about oceans, about mountains and forests, about his childhood, his mistakes, his dreams. Slowly, she started paying attention, started watching him eat with interest instead of indifference. One day she reached out and took a piece of meat from his hand. After that she ate regularly. Not much at first, but enough. Her body started filling out. Her ribs became less visible. Muscles began to rebuild. During the 4th week, something changed. Liam was working on removing barnacles from her shoulder when she made a sound that was definitely not a wheeze or purr. It was almost like a word. Low and rumbling, but structured, intentional. He stopped. "Did you just try to talk?" The dragon's eye focused on him. She made the sound again. "Vera," Liam said quickly, "are you recording this?" "Always," the AI replied. "That vocalization contains structured phonemes. She is attempting to communicate in Galactic Common." Liam sat back, stunned. "You can understand me?" The dragon made another sound. This one was clearly frustrated, like she was trying to shape words but her mouth could not quite form them. "How long have you understood what I have been saying?" Liam asked. The dragon looked away. There was something like shame in her posture. "Hey," Liam said gently, "it is okay. We will work on it. Do you want to try?" She looked back at him, made a sound that might have been a yes. Over the next few days they developed a system. Simple sounds for yes and no, a huff for agreement, a rumble for disagreement. It was not conversation, not yet, but it was communication. Liam started teaching her words, simple ones, his name. Her name, which he had decided should be Pearl, after the color of her newly revealed scales. Food, water, stars. Pearl learned faster than he expected. Vera theorized that she had been listening to Galactic Common for years in captivity but had never been given the chance or encouragement to try speaking. Previous owners probably thought she was too stupid to learn, Vera said. They never tested for intelligence. They only tested for obedience and aggression. She was neglected in every way, Liam said quietly. He was working on Pearl's wings when she spoke her first clear word. Liam. He froze, looked up. Pearl was watching him with both eyes now. The right eye was almost completely clear. The left was clouded but functional enough to make out shapes. "You said my name," Liam whispered. "Liam," Pearl said again. Her voice was rough, unpracticed, but understandable. "Yes," Liam said. He felt something tight in his chest. "That is right. I am Liam." "Liam, help Pearl," she said slowly. "Yes, I help you." "Why?" The question hung in the air between them. Liam thought about it, really thought about it. Why had he done this? Why had he spent everything he owned, bound himself to months of cheap labor, spent every free moment for weeks removing parasites and treating infections? "Because nobody else would," he said finally. "And you deserved better than what you had." Pearl was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something that made Liam's chest tighten even more. Pearl thought Pearl broken. Pearl thought Pearl bad dragon. "Nobody want broken dragon." "You are not broken," Liam said firmly. "You were hurt." "There is a difference. Broken means you cannot be fixed. Hurt means you can heal." "Liam, think Pearl can heal?" "I know you can. You already have. Look at yourself." Liam pulled up a reflective panel, angling it so Pearl could see her own reflection. She stared at herself for a long time. At the white scales, clean and gleaming. At her face, free of barnacles. At the eye that could see clearly again. She made a sound that might have been a sob. "You were always beautiful," Liam said quietly. "You just needed someone to help you see it." Pearl was silent. Then she did something she had never done before. She lowered her head and gently pressed it against Liam's shoulder. The gesture was unmistakable. Trust. Gratitude. Connection. Liam put his hand on her neck, feeling the smooth scales under his palm. Not rough with parasites anymore, just smooth and warm and alive. "You are going to be okay," he told her. "We both are." Pearl pulled back and looked at him. Her expression was different now. More alert. More present. More alive. "Where we go?" she asked. It was a good question. Liam had been so focused on healing her that he had not thought much about what came next. But now looking at Pearl, seeing the intelligence and awareness in her eyes, he knew what she needed. "Home," he said. "We are going to find your home." Pearl remembered ice not clearly, not in detail, but somewhere deep in her mind, buried under years of cages and cruelty, was the memory of cold wind and white mountains, a place where the sky was always pale and the ground sparkled with frost, Winter Reach, she said one evening as Liam worked on removing the last patches of barnacles from her tail. Pearl born in Winter Reach, Liam paused. You remember your home world? Little bit. Ice mountains. Cold water. Others like Pearl. Other white dragons. No, Pearl only white one. But others still family. Still home. Liam pulled up his star charts. Winter Reach was listed in the database. A remote world in the outer system's protected territory. Dragon Sanctuary. Landing required special permission. It is 4 months away, Liam said. 4 months off my usual routes. Pearl's head drooped. Liam need work. Pearl understand. Pearl stay with Liam. Hey. Liam touched her neck gently. I did not say no. I just said it is far. But if that is where you want to go, then that is where we go. But Liam need money. Liam have debt. I will figure it out, Liam said. The debt will wait. You have waited long enough. Pearl made her purring sound. She'd been doing that more often lately. It meant she was happy. The journey to Winter Reach took them through systems Liam had never visited. He picked up cargo jobs where he could, small runs that kept them moving in the right direction. The contracts he had signed with Drift Harbor complicated things, but Vera helped him find loopholes in the wording. During those 4 months, Pearl continued to improve. Her body filled out with muscle. Her scales grew brighter. She learned more words every day, practicing with Liam and Vera. Her grammar was rough, but she could hold conversations now. She was curious about everything. Human culture fascinated her. Liam showed her music from Earth, and she would sit for hours listening to everything from classical to rock. She preferred the quiet songs, piano pieces, string quartets, things that reminded her of wind across ice. Why humans make sad music? She asked once, listening to a particularly melancholy violin solo. Because sadness is part of life, Liam said. Music helps us feel it without being destroyed by it. Pearl considered this. Pearl very sad for long time. Now less sad. Music help? Maybe, does it? Yes, make Pearl feel... Not alone. Other beings feel sad too. Share sadness, make it smaller. Liam smiled. That is exactly right. 3 months into the journey, they encountered a problem. A galactic patrol ship pulled them over for a routine inspection. The officer who boarded the dusty run was a Cortesian, tall and rigid with compound eyes that missed nothing. Purpose of travel? The officer asked, scanning his datapad. Cargo delivery, Liam said, handing over his manifests. The officer reviewed them. Then his eyes moved to the cargo bay door. What is in there? Personal cargo. I need to inspect. Liam's stomach tightened. It is just supplies. Open the bay. The officer's hand moved to his weapon. Not threatening exactly, but present. Liam opened the bay door. Pearl sat in the center of the bay, surrounded by blankets and the few possessions Liam had given her. Books on data pads, music players, a small collection of smooth stones she had asked him to gather from different planets. The officer stared. That is a Class 3 exotic creature. Do you have proper ownership documentation? Yes. Liam pulled up the papers from Drift Harbor. She is registered to me. The officer examined them. These documents list the creature as cargo. You are transporting cargo in conditions not appropriate for live specimen transport. This could be considered animal cruelty. She is not cargo, Liam said. The documents say. The documents are wrong. Pearl spoke, her voice clear despite its roughness. Pearl not cargo. Pearl choose to be with Liam. The officer's compound eyes focused on her. It speaks? She, Pearl corrected. Pearl is she. Pearl is person, not thing. The officer was quiet for a moment. His species was known for rigid adherence to rules, but they were also known for logic and fairness. You claim to be here by choice? He asked Pearl. Yes, Liam saved Pearl life. Pearl choose to stay with Liam. We go to Winter Reach. Pearl home. Winter Reach is Dragon Sanctuary. Protected territory. Why would you need saving if you come from there? Pearl's voice went quiet. Pearl taken his egg. Sold many times. Hurt many times. Sick many times. Liam find Pearl. Liam heal Pearl. Now Pearl go home. The officer looked at the blankets. At the books. At the obvious care that had been put into making the cargo bay comfortable. This is highly irregular, he said. I am not abusing her, Liam said. I am helping her get home. The officer made several notes on his datapad. I am flagging this in the system. Winter Reach authorities will be notified of your approach. They will make final determination. That is fair, Liam said. The officer turned to leave, then paused. For what it is worth, human, your creature looks healthy. Well cared for, that counts for something. After he left, Pearl looked at Liam. That bad? Maybe. Winter Reach might not let us land now. They might think I stole you or something. Pearl, tell them truth. Pearl, tell them Liam good. Liam, save Pearl. I hope they listen. They did listen, but it took time. As the dusty run approached Winter Reach, communication attempts were met with silence. Liam sent messages explaining the situation. Pearl recorded her own message in her rough galactic common, explaining who she was and what had happened. Finally, 3 days from orbit, they received a response. This is Elder Frostwing of Winter Reach. We have reviewed your messages in the patrol report. Permission to land is granted on one condition. You will submit to interview immediately upon arrival. If we determine the dragon is being held against her will or has been harmed, you will face charges. Understood, Liam replied. We will comply with all requirements. He looked at Pearl. She had grown so much during their journey. Not just physically, but in confidence, in awareness of herself. Are you ready? He asked. Pearl stretched her wings. They had healed well. The last of the barnacles removed weeks ago. She had not tried to fly yet. The cargo bay was too small, but Liam could see the strength in them now. Pearl ready, she said. Pearl, go home now. What if they want you to stay? What if they do not want you traveling with a human anymore? Pearl looked at him with both eyes, the right one clear and bright, the left one clouded but functional, both filled with certainty. Pearl, choose, she said. Always Pearl, choose. Winter Reach was exactly how Pearl had remembered it, and nothing like it at all. The mountains were still there, white peaks cutting into a pale sky. The air was cold enough to make Liam's breath fog even inside the ship. But Pearl was bigger now. The world seemed smaller through her healed eyes. They landed in a valley between two mountains. A welcoming party was already waiting. 5 dragons, all of them larger than Pearl. All of them watching the dusty run with expressions Liam could not read. Stay calm, Vera said. I am monitoring their thermal signatures. They are alert but not aggressive. That is comforting, Liam muttered. He lowered the cargo bay ramp. Cold air rushed in and Pearl lifted her head, breathing it deeply. She made a sound he had never heard before. Not a purr, not a word. Something older, deeper, recognition. Come on, Liam said. Let us meet them. They walked down the ramp together. Pearl moved slowly, still not completely comfortable with her own body after so long being weak, but she moved with purpose. With dignity, the largest dragon stepped forward. His scales were deep blue, almost black. Ice crystals formed in his breath as he spoke. I am Elder Frostwing. You claim to be Pearl, daughter of Ice Singer, taken as an egg 15 cycles ago. Yes, Pearl said. Her voice was steady despite the nervousness Liam could feel in her posture. Pearl is Pearl. Pearl remember ice. Pearl remember cold water. Pearl remember mother's songs. Frostwing studied her. You were white even as an egg. Your mother mourned you. We all did. The ones who took you were never found. Pearl not blame Winter Reach. Pearl know mothers tried to find Pearl. Show me your wings, Frostwing said. Pearl hesitated, then spread her wings. They were not perfect. Scars remained where barnacles had grown too deep. The membrane was thinner in some places than others. But they were functional. Healed Frostwing examined them carefully. Then he looked at Liam. You did this? I helped, Liam said. She did the hard part. She survived. Humans are the ones who took her, another dragon said. This one was smaller with green scales. Humans sell our young. Humans put us in cages. Some humans do terrible things, Liam agreed. Some dragons do terrible things too. Some Cortasians, some Tellurians, some of every species do terrible things. But not all. Not everyone. Why did you help her? Frostwing asked. Liam thought about how to answer. He could talk about the shock prods, about the workers laughing, about the clouded eye and the small wheeze of pain, but all of that felt incomplete. Because she needed help, he said finally. And I could help. It did not seem like something that needed a bigger reason than that. Frostwing was quiet for a long moment. Then he did something unexpected. He lowered his head, bringing his face level with Liam's. I judged you before meeting you, he said. I assumed you were like the others who hurt our kind. I was wrong. You have my apology and my thanks. Pearl is the one who survived, Liam said. Pearl is the one who healed. I just removed barnacles and offered food. You offered hope, Frostwing said. In the dark places, hope is the rarest gift. He turned to Pearl. You are home, child. Your mother will want to see you. She lives on the northern mountain now. She will weep when she sees you. Pearl's voice was small. Pearl not same. Pearl damaged. Pearl only see from one eye. Pearl cannot speak properly. Pearl not strong like other dragons. You are alive, Frostwing said gently. You survived what would have killed most. You learned to speak when no one taught you. You found your way home across the galaxy. You are stronger than you know. Pearl made a sound that was definitely a sob. One of the other dragons, a female with silver scales, moved closer and wrapped a wing around her. It was the first time Pearl had been touched by another dragon in 15 years. Welcome home, little sister, the silver dragon said. Liam felt something tight in his chest. This was right. This was what Pearl needed. Connection with her own kind, safety, home. He started to step back to return to his ship. His job was done. Liam, wait, Pearl said. He stopped. Pearl pulled away from the silver dragon and moved to Liam. She was bigger than him, stronger than him, but she lowered her head and looked at him with both eyes. Pearl want to stay in Winter Reach, she said, but Pearl also want to travel with Liam. Pearl want both. Is that okay? You want to come and go? Liam asked. Yes, Winter Reach is Pearl home. Pearl need to know mothers, need to be with dragons, but Liam is Pearl family too. Pearl choose Liam family. Frostwing made a sound. This is unusual. Everything about Pearl is unusual, the silver dragon said. She sounded amused. Why stop now? If Pearl wishes to maintain a bond with the human, I will not prevent it, Frostwing said. He looked at Liam. But there are conditions. You will be given status as friend of dragons. You may land here freely, but you will also carry responsibility. When you travel, if you find others of our kind in bad situations, you will help them as you helped Pearl. I am just a cargo hauler, Liam said. I do not have resources to— You will have resources, Frostwing interrupted. Winter Reach will fund rescue operations. We will provide medical supplies, transport assistance, legal support. You will be our hands in the wider galaxy. Liam stared. You want me to rescue dragons? Not just dragons, Frostwing said. Any creature suffering as Pearl suffered. Any being trapped in the dark places. Humans have a saying, I believe. One person can make a difference. You will not be alone, the silver dragon added. Others will help. We will spread word among the decent beings of the galaxy, those who care, those who want to change things. Liam looked at Pearl. She was watching him with hope in her eyes, real hope. Not the fragile, barely there hope from that dark cage, but strong hope. The kind that believed in possibilities. Okay, Liam said. I will do it. Pearl made her purring sound. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, he replied. For trusting me. For surviving. For being you. 6 months later, the dusty run approached Drift Harbor again, but Liam was not alone. Pearl rode in the cargo bay, healthy and strong. Her white scales gleamed. Both eyes were clear or clear enough. They docked. They walked through the station. And when they reached the beast pens, they stopped. The cages were still full. Creatures still suffered. But now Liam had resources. Legal backing, support. Golvan saw them coming, and his 3 eyes widened. That cannot be the same dragon. It is, Liam said. And we are here to make some purchases. He pulled up his data pad. The list was long. Every creature in poor condition. Every being that had been labeled defective, worthless, damaged. We will take all of them, Liam said. You cannot afford— Check your account, Pearl said. Her voice was much clearer now. Winter Reach provides funding. Golvan checked. His eyes widened further. This is enough to buy half my inventory. Then we will start with half, Liam said. The rest can wait for next time. As they began the process of paperwork and transfers, other cargo haulers stopped to watch. Some of them were human. Some of them looked at the creatures in cages with new eyes. One of them, a young woman, approached Liam. How do I help? You have a ship? Liam asked. Yes. And a conscience? She smiled. Working on it. That is all you need to start. Pearl watched as more humans gathered, asking questions, offering help. Not all of them, but enough. She thought about the dark cage where she had waited to die, about the barnacles and the pain and the certainty that no one cared. Then she thought about Liam stopping in a corridor, about shock prods and warehouse workers, about one human who refused to look away. One person could make a difference, but one person could also inspire others, and that made all the difference.